I was closing the curtains when my wife, Myra, sent a short message saying she'd be home late again. Her excuses had begun piling up so fast they barely sounded human anymore. I asked her if everything was okay, and she replied that work was crazy, but she'd said that every night for almost a month. I sat on the couch staring at the wall, wondering when she had become a stranger in my own home. Her perfume no longer lingered in the hallway the way it used to. Her laughter had become something she shared with everyone except me. My phone buzzed again, but it wasn't her. It was my cousin Alex texting me a photo. It showed Myra at a cafe with a man I'd never seen before. Her smile in the picture was brighter than any she'd given me in weeks. I felt something sink inside me like a ship hitting the ocean floor. I asked Alex if he was sure it was from today. He said he'd taken it 10 minutes earlier. I waited up for her until almost midnight. When she finally walked in, she looked surprised to see me awake. I asked her how work had been, and she froze for half a second. She said it had been exhausting. I asked her about the cafe. Her eyes flickered like a faulty light bulb. She said she'd met a client. I asked her why she hadn't mentioned it. She snapped that she didn't need to tell me everything. The defensiveness cut deeper than any confession would have. I didn't push further that night, but the distance between us grew wider. The next morning, she left early without her usual goodbye kiss. The house felt colder, emptier, and painfully quiet. I sat at the table wondering how many lies I had swallowed just to keep the peace. Later that day, while cleaning the living room, her tablet lit up with a notification. A message preview read, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." My hands trembled as I unlocked the screen. Their chat was full of hearts, late-night plans, and promises whispered into digital darkness. He told her she deserved a better man. She replied that she felt alive around him. Every sentence felt like a punch to the gut. I put the tablet down, sat on the floor, and tried to breathe. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted clarity, not chaos. The following evening, Myra said she'd be going out with her friend Liza, but I already knew that was a lie. I followed her car from a distance, heart pounding, palms wet. She pulled into a hotel parking lot. My throat tightened as she walked inside with the same man from the cafe. They didn't act like people hiding something. They acted like lovers who believed their world was untouchable. I drove home in silence, the kind of silence that feels like a heavy coat you can't take off. When she returned at midnight again, she pretended everything was normal. I waited for her to fall asleep before packing a small bag. The air in the bedroom felt suffocating. The next morning, I sat her down in the living room. I told her I knew everything. She tried to deny it until she saw the look in my eyes. Then her shoulders sagged and the lies spilled out like broken glass. She said she didn't plan for it to happen. She said she felt lost and confused. She said she didn't want to hurt me, but she had already done the damage. I told her I needed space, and she didn't argue. She just cried quietly, the way people cry when they finally face the truth they've been hiding from. I left for a few days and stayed with Alex. He didn't ask many questions, just offered me a place to breathe. During that time, Myra sent long messages begging me not to give up on us. She said she'd cut ties with him. She said she wanted to fix everything. But trust doesn't grow from broken promises. It grows from truth, and hers had been buried too deep. When I came home, she hugged me like she feared I'd vanish. She said she was willing to do therapy, change routines, rebuild our life. I told her rebuilding required two honest hearts, not one glued-together apology. She promised she'd prove herself. I told her she could try, but I wasn't rushing forgiveness. Weeks passed slowly, painfully, uncertainly. She worked hard to earn back pieces of what she shattered. Sometimes I believed her. Sometimes I didn't, but something inside me shifted. I realized I wasn't trying to save the marriage anymore. I was trying to save myself. One evening, I sat across from her at dinner watching her hands shake slightly with fear of losing me. She whispered that she still loved me. I whispered that I needed more than words. She nodded, accepting the reality she'd helped create. We didn't end that night. We didn't fix everything either. We simply kept breathing in the same space, unsure of what tomorrow would bring. Maybe that uncertainty was its own kind of truth. Maybe healing doesn't come in grand gestures, but in quiet decisions to keep moving forward. And maybe the heart doesn't break cleanly, it fractures, scars, and eventually finds its way back to the light. Whether together or apart, I decided I'd no longer live in the shadows of someone else's choices. I finally chose myself.